Hello and welcome to the small but ever-growing group of independent thinkers that keep an eye on our channel. Thank you for checking us out once again. We're grateful for every view and we're going to work hard at bringing you the content that you enjoy and find helpful. So please, if you'd like to like and subscribe to this video, if you want more of the same, that would be helpful. Now, the Discourse Collective isn't an atheist channel, despite the title of this video. We examine and explore many issues, but we try to do this from angles that might make people see things in a different light. To do this, we use objective data and facts, reason, logic, and scientific principles. Now, of course, these are not the only tools to view the world around us. Instinct, faith, and subjective experience all have parts to play in the paths we walk, but they are only really useful in how we form our own ideas, rather than to more universal concepts that apply to everyone. Now, because of this, I view religion as the polar opposite of what this channel is about. And it's why you'll see a fair bit of atheist content on this channel. We're not setting out to lampoon or upset anyone, but the ideas contained in religion can't be protected or given special status. So in this video, we're going to look at 3 of the ideas that defy belief, pun intended. But first, I want to tell you something personal. Now, when I was a schoolboy, like many of my friends, I liked to tell the odd tall tale. Perhaps I made it to the final of some sort of national competition or collected some kind of unique or hard to find object. Now, my friends were perfectly smart kids, so they would ask sensible questions with initial healthy skepticism. Now, the part I was naturally gifted at was coming up with plausible explanations to their questions. So, more than plausible actually, downright devious. Now, I remember how quick I had to be, how mentally on my toes. Hesitation was a dead giveaway that I was being untruthful. Now, when asked how it was possible that I'd collected every single football card for every single team in the UK, I claimed an uncle who worked in the printing company. When they asked if they could see them, alas no, my mum had said they could not leave the house. When my friends asked if they could come to my house to see them, sadly, my brother had the measles. Now, with every lie, I untethered myself further from the truth. My friends, now invested in the lie I had sold them, would even sometimes defend me from the people claiming I was lying. Their cognitive dissonance forced them to join me in my fiction, despite the small voices in their heads telling them I was lying. Now, with that in mind, take a look at some of these incredible examples of religious craziness and see if you can figure out some of the echoes of my own story. The Oeuvre. Around Manhattan and 200 or so other locations around the world, there is a small wire, sometimes long, the one in LA is nearly 80 square miles, and sometimes shorter. Its purpose is to separate private and public places so that those of the Jewish faith, at least those who observe this idea, who are inside the ringed off area, can carry things like keys and bags outside of their home on the Sabbath. It's been a thing for about 2,000 years. Now, some of the Jewish faith believe that things cannot be carried from a private to a public space on the Sabbath, and so this wire means that all of the enclosed space is considered private, thanks to the symbolic barrier of the Oeuvre. Now, it's hard to know where to start here. It makes so little sense. I mean, firstly, let's look at the reasoning. When the Jewish faith was invented some 4,000 years ago, the people who concocted it made the rules, according to God as they saw it. So God figured that this rule of not carrying things between private and public domains was a good idea. Fast forward 2,000 years and it becomes a pain in the arse. So the rabbis simply change the rules and say, well, God won't mind as long as we make a token effort to put some wire up. Why would God have put this rule down in the first place if it could simply be subverted by a little bit of fishing wire? He just wouldn't have bothered putting the rule in. And let's think about the logistics. It costs over $150,000 to maintain the Oeuvre in Manhattan, so why not just find a nice quiet bit of the Sahara Desert and make one small metre round Oeuvre, then declare everything inside the string public and everything outside, i.e. the entire world, private? Well, I've looked and surprise, surprise, there is some complex Jewish scripture that defines what can be considered private and public, and that the Oeuvre covers ineligible space is not actually valid. Now, am I the only one here who smells a rat? It's almost as if the entire thing is a man-made fiction with bits hastily added in later on so it appears consistent. Mormons, all of it. Now, I watched a quite fantastic video of a female Mormon reacting to the South Park episode on Mormonism recently. Thanks to the Telltale channel for that. It's an amazing video. Please watch it. I'll put a link since I can't do it justice here. Literally nothing about the Mormon faith makes sense, yet some 16 million people claim to be members of the faith. The church holds some $100 billion in assets. The upside of the Mormon church, there's always a positive, is that at least Scientologists have got somebody to laugh at. The Metzintath Bimpeth. There is no easy way to say this, believe me, I just tried and I'm sure I mispronounced it, but for some in the Jewish faith, the correct way to perform a circumcision is for the performing mole to suck the baby's penis after cutting the end of it off, placing their mouth over the cut skin. They use their mouth to draw out the blood. Now, there is nothing on this earth that would let me see somebody do that to my child. Like much that happens in the Orthodox Jewish community, the exact numbers of occurrences are kept secret. What's not secret is that some parents specifically request this, despite the fact that this practice has been known to kill babies from virus transmission from the adult mole to the baby. The secular legal system has been reluctant to intervene, instead passing cases back to the Jewish community for internal management. Can you name me one other situation where an adult putting their mouth on a baby's penis would be considered a non-legal matter? Why is this given special consideration, special protection, when it's clearly not necessary? Millions of male babies are circumcised using, if not modern surgical processes, then more sanitary procedures every year. I'm not exactly a fan of that either. Genital mutilation is rarely a good idea if it's not medically required, but at least the harm is reduced. Now, I know that not all of those of the Jewish faith are accepting of this act. I don't mean to imply that they are. But the fact is that it even occurs in this day and age is really, to me, outrageous. But what do these three examples show us? Well, they show us that when people are lied to, especially from childhood, they are prone to simply accept clearly untrue and fictitious ideas without question. Question everything. Apply free thought and inquiry to everything. Now, I know many of you will have examples like these, and I would love to read about them if you want to add them into the comments below. We read and we appreciate every single comment we get, so thank you for taking the time to do that. Lastly, if you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video. They definitely help a lot. Click the little notification bell, that's all below, to make sure that you get to see the videos that we make. And I will see you next time on the Discourse Collective.